Our first encounter takes place in the mesopelagic zone, the twilight world hundreds of meters below the surface. Here, where sunlight barely penetrates, we find a creature of exquisite fragility. It is the glass octopus, Vitreledonella richardi. At first glance, one might not see it at all. It is almost entirely transparent, a living phantom drifting silently through the gloom. Its skin is like spun glass, so clear that its internal organs, its optic nerve, its gills, and its digestive tract are all clearly visible to the discerning eye. This extraordinary transparency is not for show. It is a masterful strategy for survival. In a world with no place to hide, the best defense is to become invisible. Predators swimming above or below would struggle to distinguish its gelatinous form against the faint, shimmering light filtering down from the world above. It is a ghost in the water, a whisper of life that avoids detection by simply not being there, visually speaking. Its presence is a testament to the remarkable ways life adapts to the harshest of conditions. Unlike its more familiar shallow water cousins, the glass octopus has elongated, almost rectangular eyes. This unusual shape, scientists believe, helps to minimize its silhouette when viewed from below. By reducing the shadow it casts, it enhances its near-perfect camouflage. Every aspect of its being, from its transparent flesh to the very shape of its eyes, has been sculpted by the relentless pressure of predation in this open, unforgiving environment. It is a marvel of evolutionary engineering. We know so little about its daily life. How it hunts, how it mates, how it raises its young. These remain profound mysteries. Observations are incredibly rare, fleeting moments captured by deep-sea submersibles that happen to cross its path. Each sighting is a precious gift, a tiny piece of a puzzle that we are only just beginning to assemble. It moves with a slow, deliberate grace, its 8 arms trailing behind it like a silken veil, propelling itself with gentle jets of water. Its body, which can grow up to 45 centimeters in length, including its arms, is delicate beyond measure. It lacks the chromatophores, the pigment-bearing cells that allow other octopuses to change colour so dramatically. It has no need for such displays. Its single, unchanging costume is one of utter clarity. It is a creature defined not by what it has, but by what it lacks: colour, substance, and opacity. To witness the glass octopus is to witness a masterpiece of minimalist design. It is a reminder that in the deep ocean, survival often depends not on strength or aggression, but on subtlety and illusion. It is a beautiful spectral being, perfectly attuned to its world of shadows and faint light. A true phantom of the deep that continues to elude our complete understanding. Deeper still, we venture into the bathypelagic zone, the midnight zone where sunlight never reaches. It is a world of absolute blackness, eternal night. And here we find a creature that seems to defy all biological logic. This is the barreleye fish, Macropinna microstoma. For a long time, its very existence was a source of scientific bewilderment, known only from mangled specimens brought up in deep-sea nets. Its most astonishing feature was always destroyed in the process. But now, with modern robotics, we can observe it in its natural habitat. And what we see is truly incredible. The top of its head is completely transparent, a fluid-filled dome that acts like a canopy or a cockpit window. Inside this clear shield, two large, tubular green eyes are visible, but strangely they do not point forward. Instead, they are fixed in an upward-gazing position, constantly scanning the water column above for the faint silhouettes of potential prey. The two small indentations on the front of its face, where one would expect to find eyes, are in fact its olfactory organs, its equivalent of nostrils. The true eyes are internal, protected within their transparent casing. This unique arrangement allows the barreleye to pinpoint the bioluminescent glow of small jellyfish and crustaceans drifting down from above, all while remaining safely in the darker waters below. It is a hunter that looks through its own forehead. When it spots a meal, something remarkable happens. The barreleye can rotate its tubular eyes forward, allowing it to see what it is about to eat. It moves from a passive, upward-gazing hunter to an active predator with binocular vision. It can then swim upwards with great precision, its small, puckered mouth perfectly suited for plucking small organisms from the tentacles of siphonophores, from which it often steals its food. The green pigment in its eyes is also a crucial adaptation. It is believed to act as a filter, allowing the fish to distinguish the bioluminescence of its prey from the ambient sunlight that might, on the very rare occasion, filter down to these depths. It can see the faint flashes of living light against a background of solar light, a critical advantage in this dimly lit world. It is an incredibly specialized visual system, honed over millions of years. Living at depths between 600 and 800 meters, the barreleye is a solitary, slow-moving creature. It often hangs motionless in the water, its large, flat fins providing stability as it waits and watches. Its life is one of patience, a silent vigil in the crushing dark. The discovery of its transparent head and rotating eyes completely changed our understanding of this fish, turning what was once a biological curiosity into a marvel of deep-sea adaptation. Our journey now takes us to the abyssal plains, the vast muddy seafloor thousands of meters down. In this cold, high-pressure environment, we find an animal of surprising and disarming charm. It is a member of the Grimpoteuthis genus, more affectionately known as the dumbo octopus. It earns its name from the two prominent ear-like fins that protrude from the sides of its head, or mantle, which it flaps gracefully to propel itself through the water. These fins, which look so much like the ears of a certain famous cartoon elephant, are its primary mode of locomotion. By slowly and rhythmically flapping them, it appears to fly through the water, a gentle and unhurried dance in the deep. It can also use its webbed arms, spreading them like a parachute, to drift or steering with gentle pulses from its funnel. But it is the fins that give it its unique and endearing character. It is a creature of pure grace. Dumbo octopuses are among the deepest living of all known octopuses, found at depths of at least 4,000 meters, with some sightings reported as deep as 7,000 meters below the surface. At these depths, the pressure is immense, hundreds of times greater than at sea level. Their bodies are gelatinous and lack the rigid internal shell, or gladius, that squids possess, allowing them to withstand this crushing force without being flattened. Unlike most octopuses, they do not have an ink sac. In the perpetual darkness of the abyss, a cloud of ink would be a useless defence. Instead, their survival depends on their ability to remain unseen or to make a quick, if slow motion, escape. They are benthic creatures, living and hunting on or just above the seafloor. They pounce on their prey, small crustaceans, worms and bivalves, swallowing them whole. Sightings of these animals are exceptionally rare. Much of what we know comes from tantalizingly brief encounters with remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs. Each glimpse is a cause for celebration among deep-sea biologists. We have never observed their mating behavior in the wild, though we know from captured specimens that the females can carry eggs at different stages of development, suggesting they can store sperm and lay eggs continuously when conditions are right. The mystery surrounding the dumbo octopus is a powerful reminder of how little we know about life on the abyssal plains. This vast habitat, the single largest on our planet, remains almost entirely unexplored. Creatures like this gentle, flapping octopus show us that even in the most extreme and seemingly inhospitable parts of our world, life can be found in forms that are not only resilient, but also, in their own way, utterly enchanting. Let us now travel to one of the most extreme environments on Earth, hydrothermal vents. These are fissures in the seafloor that spew out superheated mineral-rich water. Around these oases of chemical energy in the crushing dark, entire ecosystems thrive, independent of the sun. And it was here in 2005 in the South Pacific that scientists made a truly astonishing discovery. A creature so strange it demanded the creation of a whole new family and genus. This is Kiwa hirsuta, the yeti crab. Its most striking feature is its long white pincers, which are covered in silky hair-like filaments known as setae. It looks as though it is wearing a pair of furry white mittens. This fur is not for warmth. The water here is already heated by the vents. Instead, these hairs are home to vast colonies of filamentous bacteria, which the crab meticulously cultivates. The purpose of this bacterial garden is still a subject of scientific debate. The leading theory is that the crab uses these bacteria as its primary food source. It is often seen waving its claws back and forth in the mineral-rich plumes emanating from the vents. This strange rhythmic dance is thought to provide the bacteria with the nutrients they need to grow, a form of chemosynthetic farming. The crab then uses comb-like mouthparts to scrape the bacteria from its arms and eat them. Another possibility is that the bacteria act as a detoxification system. The water from these vents is laden with toxic compounds like hydrogen sulfide. The bacteria on the crab's claws may metabolize these dangerous chemicals, rendering them harmless and effectively purifying the water in its immediate vicinity, allowing it to survive in an environment that would be lethal to most other forms of life. It's possible both theories are correct. The yeti crab is blind. Its eyes are vestigial, small and immobile, lacking any pigment. In the total darkness of its deep-sea home, sight would be useless. It navigates its world through touch and by sensing chemical changes in the water, a world perceived entirely through feeling and taste. It lives its life tethered to the life-giving but perilous heat of the vents. Since the discovery of Kiwa hirsuta, other related species have been found near cold seeps and other vents. each with its own unique characteristics. But this original yeti crab remains a symbol of deep-sea discovery. It represents the unknown, a life form so fundamentally different from what we knew that it reshaped our understanding of biology. It is a farmer, a chemist, and a dancer, all rolled into one small pale crustacean, thriving in a world of fire and darkness. There are creatures in the deep that seem to have been summoned from a prehistoric age. They are living relics, their lineage stretching back millions of years. Perhaps none is more unsettlingly ancient in its appearance than the goblin shark, Mitsukurina ostoni. Found in deep waters across the globe, it is often called a living fossil, because it is the last surviving member of a family of sharks, some 125 million years old. Its appearance is truly unique, and frankly, quite startling. It has a pale, flabby, pinkish-grey body, a result of blood vessels showing through its thin, almost translucent skin. But its most defining features are its head and its jaws. It has a long, flat, blade-like snout, called a rostrum, which is covered in sensory organs known as ampullae of Lorenzini. These pores can detect the faint electrical fields produced by the muscle contractions of other animals. In the dark, where eyes are of limited use, the goblin shark uses its snout like a metal detector, sweeping it over the seabed to locate hidden fish, squid, and crustaceans. And once it finds its prey, it unleashes its second and most terrifying adaptation. Its jaws are not fixed in place like those of other sharks. They are highly protrusible, attached to elastic ligaments that allow them to be catapulted forward with astonishing speed. This action, known as slingshot feeding, is one of the fastest and most dramatic feeding mechanisms in the ocean. The jaws can extend to the very end of its snout, snapping shut on unsuspecting prey with a set of long, needle-like teeth perfect for impaling soft-bodied creatures. The entire sequence, from detection to capture, is a marvel of predatory efficiency, a system perfected over an immense span of evolutionary time. Because it lives at depths of up to 1,300 meters, encounters with humans are very rare. Most of what we know has been pieced together from the few specimens accidentally caught by deep-sea trawlers. Its flabby body and small fins suggest it is not a fast or active swimmer, but rather a slow-moving ambush predator that drifts silently through the water column, waiting for a meal to come within range of its extraordinary snout and jaws. The goblin shark is a creature that has not needed to change. Its ancient body plan, its unique sensory abilities, and its incredible jaw mechanism have allowed it to survive mass extinctions and the passage of geological ages. It is a chilling and magnificent link to the distant past, a ghostly predator that continues to haunt the deep, dark corners of our world's oceans, a true survivor from another time. We now descend to a place of utter desolation, the bathyal and abyssal zones between 1,000 and 4,000 meters deep. Here there is no light, no shelter, and very little food. The pressure is crushing, and the temperature is just above freezing. To survive here requires adaptations that are nothing short of miraculous. In this realm of eternal night, we find one of its most formidable residents, the deep-sea dragonfish. There are many species of dragonfish, but all share a fearsome appearance. They have long, dark, eel-like bodies and enormous mouths filled with fang-like, transparent teeth. Their jaws can unhinge, allowing them to swallow prey even larger than themselves, a crucial ability in a world where meals are few and far between. You cannot afford to be a picky eater when your next meal might not appear for weeks or even months. But the dragonfish's most remarkable tool is its mastery of light. In the absolute darkness, it creates its own. Dangling from its chin is a long, fleshy appendage called a barbel, and at the tip of this barbel is a photophore, a light-producing organ. It can flash this light on and off, using it as a lure to attract the curiosity of smaller fish and crustaceans. An unsuspecting creature, drawn to the promise of a meal, becomes one instead. Furthermore, the dragonfish possesses rows of photophores along its body. These can be used for communication with other dragonfish, perhaps for finding a mate in the vast emptiness. But some species have taken this a step further. The Malacosteus niger, or stoplight loosejaw, has developed one of the most sophisticated visual systems in the animal kingdom. It can produce not only the typical blue-green bioluminescence, but also red light. This is an extraordinary advantage. Most deep-sea creatures have evolved to see blue light as it travels furthest in water, but they are completely blind to red light. The stoplight loosejaw, however, has special pigments in its eyes that allow it to see this red light. This means it can illuminate its prey with a beam of red light that is completely invisible to the victim. It is hunting with a secret sniper's scope, a truly astonishing feat of evolutionary one-upmanship. Life for the dragonfish is a solitary and brutal affair. It is a constant search for food in an empty world, punctuated by brief, flashing encounters with other living things. Its entire being is a weapon, a collection of deadly adaptations for hunting in the dark. From its terrifying teeth to its hypnotic lure and its secret red searchlight, the dragonfish is the ultimate predator of the abyss, a true monster of the deep. In the oxygen minimum zones of the deep ocean, where the water is so depleted of oxygen that most complex life cannot survive, there lives a creature that is neither a squid nor an octopus, but something unique. It is Vampiroteuthis infernalis, which translates rather dramatically as the vampire squid from hell. This name, however, is a misnomer, a legacy of its initial discovery when its dark webbed cloak and red eyes struck terror into its observers. The vampire squid is not a blood-sucking monster. It's a gentle detritivore, a scavenger of the deep. It lives a quiet life, feeding on what is known as marine snow, a continuous shower of organic debris, dead plankton and fecal pellets that drifts down from the richer waters far above. It is a specialist in surviving where few others can, a master of low-energy living. Its metabolism is the lowest of any deep-sea cephalopod. Its appearance, however, is what captures the imagination. It has a dark, velvety black or reddish-brown body, and its 8 arms are connected by a fleshy web of skin, like a cloak. When threatened, it can draw this web over its entire body, turning itself into a spiny black ball. The underside of the cloak is black, but the tips of its arms and the base of its fins glow with an eerie bioluminescence, creating a disorienting light show to confuse predators. It has two long, retractable sensory filaments that it can extend far beyond its arms. These are not for capturing prey, but for feeling its way through the dark and detecting the presence of marine snow. When it finds a particle, it sweeps it towards its mouth with its arms, coating it in mucus. It's a delicate and precise feeding method, far removed from the aggressive hunting of its namesakes. Perhaps its most spectacular defense is what is known as bioluminescent mucus. When truly alarmed, it can eject a sticky cloud of glowing particles from its arm tips. This sparkling cloud can hang in the water for several minutes, a dazzling distraction that allows the vampire squid to escape into the darkness. Unlike the ink of other cephalopods, which creates a dark screen, this is a cloud of light, a far more effective diversion in a world without shadows. For a long time, its deep, oxygen-poor habitat made it incredibly difficult to study, and so it remained shrouded in myth. But now we see it not as a demon, but as a survivor of incredible resilience. The vampire squid is a testament to the power of adaptation, a creature that has carved out a niche in one of the planet's most challenging environments, a gentle scavenger wrapped in the cloak of a mythical monster. Not all of the ocean's strangest creatures live in the crushing abyss. Some can be found in much shallower waters, hiding in plain sight. Off the coast of California and Baja California, living in abandoned shells, crevices, and even discarded cans on the sandy seafloor, is a small fish with a very big attitude. This is the sarcastic fringehead, Neoclinus blanchardi. At first glance, it appears unremarkable. It is a small, slender fish, usually mottled brown, with large pectoral fins. It spends most of its time with just its head poking out of its chosen shelter, watching the world go by. The fringehead part of its name comes from the soft, fleshy appendages, or cirri, above its eyes. The sarcastic part, however, becomes terrifyingly clear when it feels its territory is threatened. When another fringehead, or any perceived intruder, approaches its home, it puts on a spectacular and aggressive display. It opens its mouth, and it keeps opening it until its gape is astonishingly wide, many times the diameter of its own head. The edges of its mouth are lined with a flash of fluorescent yellow or blue, creating a startling, monstrous display. It is a threat of overwhelming proportions. If the visual warning is not enough, two rival fringeheads will engage in a bizarre form of combat. They press their enormous open mouths against each other, as if engaged in a grotesque kiss. This is a battle of size and strength. Each fish is trying to push the other back, to prove that it is the larger and more dominant individual. The loser is the one who backs down first, surrendering the territory. This incredible mouth is not just for show. It is armed with sharp, needle-like teeth, and while the battle is mostly a pushing match, bites can and do occur. For a fish that rarely exceeds 30 centimeters in length, its aggression is boundless. It is ferociously territorial, and its oversized mouth is its ultimate weapon in the constant struggle for the best hiding places on the seafloor. The sarcastic fringehead is a perfect example of how much strangeness can be packed into a small body. It reminds us that incredible adaptations are not exclusive to the deep sea. It also highlights the fragility of these unique species. Its coastal habitat is vulnerable to pollution and human activity. Preserving such environments is crucial if we are to ensure that creatures as wonderfully bizarre as the sarcastic fringehead continue to have a home. We return now to the abyssal plains, over 1,000 meters down to the vast muddy bottom of the world. Here, moving in slow-motion herds across the seabed, we find a creature that truly stretches the definition of a sea cucumber. This is the scotoplanes, commonly known as the sea pig. Though it is a type of holothurian or sea cucumber, it looks more like a strange, gelatinous, multi-legged potato. Its most prominent features are its large tube-like legs. These are not true legs, but enlarged tube feet, which are common to all echinoderms like starfish and sea urchins. The sea pig uses these fluid-filled appendages to walk, or rather trundle, across the soft mud of the seafloor. It has between 5 and 7 pairs of these legs, giving it a distinctly pig-like appearance, especially with its plump, pinkish body. Sea pigs are deposit feeders. They are the vacuum cleaners of the abyss. They move slowly and constantly, using a ring of feeding tentacles around their mouths to shovel sediment into their bodies. They process the mud, extracting any tiny particles of organic matter, the remnants of the marine snow that has settled on the bottom. What is left is expelled, cleaned of its nutrients. They are vital to the health of the abyssal ecosystem, turning over and aerating the sediment. They are often found in great numbers, facing into the prevailing deep-sea current, all oriented in the same direction like a slow-moving herd of livestock. This allows them to detect the scent of a fresh food fall, such as a whale carcass that has sunk to the bottom. When this happens, hundreds, even thousands, of sea pigs can congregate to feast on the enriched sediment around the carcass. It is a slow-motion feeding frenzy. Despite their soft and squishy appearance, they are not a popular food item. Their skin contains toxic chemicals, a defensive compound called holothurin, which makes them unpalatable to most deep-sea predators. However, they are known to be hosts for a variety of parasites, including small snails and tiny crustaceans that live on, and sometimes in, their bodies. A sea pig is often its own miniature mobile ecosystem. The existence of the sea pig is a profound illustration of how much we have yet to learn. For centuries, we imagined the deep sea floor as a barren, lifeless desert. But creatures like this show us that it is a dynamic environment, populated by animals that are both bizarre and fundamentally important. Each one of these strange walking cucumbers is a signpost, pointing towards the endless biological discoveries that still await us in the deep. For our final encounter, we travel to the warm, vibrant waters of Indonesia, to a world of coral reefs and volcanic sand. In 2009, divers in Ambon Bay discovered a fish so peculiar it seemed to have been painted by a surrealist artist. This is the psychedelic frogfish, Histiophryne psychedelica. It is a creature that defies convention at every turn, a true marvel of colour and form. Its entire body is covered in a mesmerizing pattern of swirling white stripes, radiating out from its blue eyes against an orange or yellowish background. This pattern is as unique to each individual as a human fingerprint. It doesn't swim in a conventional way. Instead, it uses its pectoral fins, modified to be like little legs, to walk and even bounce along the seafloor. It propels itself by shooting jets of water from its gills, creating a chaotic, bounding motion. This bizarre appearance is, of course, a form of camouflage. The wild stripes and chaotic pattern break up its body outline, allowing it to blend in perfectly with the colourful, textured corals it calls home. It can squeeze its highly flexible body into tiny cracks and crevices, disappearing from sight completely. A predator or prey could look directly at it and see only a piece of coral. Unlike other frogfish, it does not appear to have a lure to attract prey. Instead, it relies on its camouflage and a strategy of ambush. When a small fish or shrimp wanders too close, the psychedelic frogfish strikes with incredible speed. Its mouth expands in a fraction of a second, creating a vacuum that sucks the victim in. The hunt is over before the prey even knows it was in danger. Even its face is strange. It has a flat face with forward-facing eyes, giving it a semblance of binocular vision, which is rare among fish. Its skin is thick and fleshy, lacking scales, which protects it as it wedges itself into tight spaces among the sharp corals. Every feature, from its fingerprint pattern to its bouncing gait, is a hyper-specialization for its unique niche. The discovery of the psychedelic frogfish, so recently and in a relatively well-explored area, fills us with a sense of wonder. It is a stunning reminder that the ocean's capacity to surprise us is limitless. It is a living piece of art, a bouncing, hallucinatory hunter that invites us to look closer, to keep searching, and to never assume that we have seen all the marvels that our planet has to offer. The unknown is still out there, waiting to be found. Our journey through the hidden realms of the ocean must for now come to an end. We have witnessed but a handful of the countless life forms that populate this vast liquid universe. From the ghostly glass octopus to the bouncing psychedelic frogfish, each creature is a story of survival against impossible odds, a unique solution to the challenges of life in the deep. They are a testament to the boundless ingenuity of evolution, which has sculpted life into forms more wondrous than we could ever have imagined. The ocean's depths remain the most mysterious and least explored part of our planet. For every creature we have discovered, there may be thousands more, living their lives in the crushing dark, completely unknown to us. What other marvels lie waiting in the abyss? What other secrets does the deep hold? These are questions that should inspire us, that should fuel our desire to understand and to protect this vital, life-giving realm. The ocean is the heart of our world, and its health is inextricably linked to our own. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the unseen. I hope it has left you with a sense of awe for the strange and beautiful life that shares our planet. Never lose your curiosity. Keep asking questions, keep seeking knowledge, and keep exploring the wonders of the natural world, for there is always, always more to discover. The greatest journeys are the ones that open our eyes to the mysteries that surround us every day.